birthday at... No, my birthday's in later months. Little less.
January?
No, February.
Mine didn't.
Just a date that's already passed.
Did it just change or is it just me?
Yeah.
It just changed.
Yeah, because I'm typing in, I'm like, what the heck? One illegal.
Oh my God, Tyson.
Let me guess.
I know what he did. The poop.
Everybody knew who replaced Kahoot with Tyson.
Nose.
No,
Oh, then you guys don't know who I am.
For
Who,
his name.
before I submit this, who knows what I am?
Horrible cat pun.
No, you can't look at my...
Yes, I can!
You can't look. You were supposed to just guess.
Hot
Why
head.
does it not recognize the cat face?
Mine worked.
Wait, look.
Let's go. You got 20 more seconds to get signed in or you're not playing.
Caroline, what does that mean?
You guys get hung up on these dumb names.
Yeah.
I don't.
Come on!
Just leave it. It'll probably show up when you get on the
Does everybody have one?
We're done. Oh,
Okay.
are you in?
No, I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
You're not playing?
Making sure that they... Well, it would be unfair for me to play, friends.
Oh yeah, because you probably get it right.
Yep, so it's not fair for me to dominate.
I
Whose
never.
fault was it when the bear came in the house?
Never.
I don't...
Oh.
We already know this.
Yeah. First place.
23 points behind Dakota.
It was definitely not Liddy's fault. It was definitely not Mama's fault. The book even says it was Charles's fault
Or no one.
if there was fault to be had.
What made the bear freak out in the house?
Oh, yeah.
What
You
happened?
have to make your choose the best.
Liddy falling into the mattress in the loft. Charles knocking over the pot of oatmeal. Liddy staring at the bear or
I
Rachel
picked the wrong one. I picked the wrong one.
Alicia. Last clap. In second period.
Remember, it says it right in the book. She
So yeah, go ahead.
She like falls apart, like she gets up into the attic and there's this huge commotion and she stumbles backwards and Charles has to catch her and grab her.
I want to focus on yellow. Why can yellow not be the answer?
Because-
Haley?
Because Charles didn't knock it over.
It never happened.
Yeah.
Charles never knocked over that pot of oatmeal. It never happened. Liddy staring at the bear didn't make the bear freak out. It actually mesmerized the bear. The bear, until Liddy fell back on the mattress, swung the ladder up, and hit the bear on the nose with the ladder.
Why did the bear leave? Is he dead? He couldn't find any food. He was burnt by the oatmeal. Charles scared him or the bear couldn't reach the family.
I'm fourth place now.
Yeah.
I'm
He got
838
Dakota.
points behind.
He was running around with a
Tyson.
burning pot
And the poop.
on his head.
I know
He
you
looked
are.
like a black pumpkin head, right?
What sign did Liddy's mama see?
Oh.
This one's funny.
The devil, which was the bear. The devil because the food was gone. The end of the world because the house was broke. End of the world because the drawer was broke.
We were attacked by Satan!
Attacked by Satan in the form of a bear.
I'm like,
You
now you didn't finish it! You didn't even listen!
You gotta read it in 15 seconds. They didn't even wait for you to finish reading it.
You're welcome.
That's hilarious.
Why does mama decide she wants to leave?
She wants to be with the good people in the world and because the house was destroyed because Mama lost her mind.
Answer
Mama
really
wants to
quickly,
come back. She
come on.
wanted to go with the family.
Aww.
Come on, we gotta answer faster so they can't read them.
Come on, one more.
Yeah!
I answered
She
before you
says,
got
when the
halfway
world
done.
I want to be with the faithful when the world ends.
Yeah. And the only reason she wants to be with the faithful when the world ends is because she has lost her mind. Those of you who picked green, I get it. But she lost her mind, and as a result, she thinks the world is ending. As a result, she wants to leave the home. So it's kind of like, what is the very last chain of events to make Mama want to leave the home? and red is the best answer.
Green is the cause and red is the effect.
Absolutely.
Nice job.
Yeah, absolutely.
What's the first thing the Stevens do to help the family? Share their bowl to get a calf, paid money for the pig, paid money for the calf, cooked Liddy and Charles dinner. Yes!
Come on! We gotta go faster! We can't let him finish
I
reading.
did it!
We can't let him finish reading.
A letter from the lamp, letter
No,
from the
we
letter, letter from the father.
Oh!
Now take care of the lamp.
No! Then take your time. Don't be so quick to rush and push a button.
First place.
A letter from their mom. Remember, she has all kinds of like misspellings in it, and they laugh
Katrina.
at it.
What
Ask
is,
her.
what's the message in the letter?
What'd she tell them?
She sold both of them.
Right, that
Yeah.
she basically is hiring them out. A letter from their father, absolutely not. And then a letter from their aunt, maybe you could confuse the mom and the aunt, but
The father was me.
no confusion from the
Nothing.
father. Where is the
Oh,
father?
He left.
He left them. Left your mom.
For money.
And then her mom had a mental breakdown.
What character traits does Liddy have?
Unity of peace. What?
Oh, okay. Yeah, two right answers.
Yep.
I didn't see the blue one light up. I'm like, wait, wasn't it there before?
Why was Liddy so afraid of the bear breaking things? They had no money, they couldn't fix things like their dad, she didn't want to clean it up, she didn't want her mom to get mad.
You did it.
The best answer. They're really.
First place.
Yeah, so that's why I was gonna say.
What about
They couldn't fix things like their father. She does say that. She says, you know, Charles and I will mend the door. You know, we can't do it like our dad did it, but, you know, that they certainly can try. But that was not why she says on page 3, or the narrator says, they hadn't had, Charles and she would try to mend, but he was only 10 and she 13. They hadn't their father's skill or experience. Don't break anything, she begged silently. They couldn't afford to replace any of the household goods. So they can fix things, just like just not as good as their fathers, but I think the best answer here is because they just didn't have money to replace anything. Caroline?
Could I say something about they couldn't afford to have anything broken? Are you sure it's afford like in money to repair it, or like they couldn't afford to lose it because they would die without the things?
Well, I think it's financially, I think the afford is financially speaking because, and the only reason I say that is because how is the door held on to the cabin?
Leather.
Leather hinges, right. How many rooms does this cabin have?
One. With the loft.
Yeah,
One bedrooms, yeah, how many bedrooms is this? And how many people are in this cabin?
There's
5.
Yeah.
Five.
Um,
So there's 5 people sharing one bedroom, all they have is the loft. And then after, like they, it says, another reason I think it's financial is because it says he loaded up the barrel. They had sold the horse cart for seeds last year. What's a barrel? Do you guys know?
Kind of like a bucket, or it's like a round
Have you ever heard
garbage
of?
can. It's like a garbage
No, have you ever heard, Caroline?
Oh no, I just wanted to add on to why I get that they have no money and it could be afford like money, but it could also be afford like they need the stuff to survive.
Yeah, it could be, but in this case, it's, you know, a pot. You know, you could probably go out and
Well,
make
there are
a
other
pot.
things in the house like.
Right, a table or something, right. But let's get back to,
Well, if he took the door away, they couldn't replace that, and they need that, or else more bears will get in.
well, they live in the woods. What's a door made out of?
Wood.
You can replace that.
after a while, yeah, but you gotta cut down a tree, and it'll take some time, and it's nighttime, and they can't do that
Right,
now.
but would it be easier to replace the door, by slicing, a tree apart or buying a door?
Well, no,
for
I
the
get
ordinance.
that they would slice the tree apart, but they couldn't afford to not have a door for one night if there are bears in the woods. That would mean there were
They
more
put
bears
it
to
up.
come in.
They
when
said
there
they
were
held
bears.
it there.
They
They did,
They-
but I was saying if the bear took the door with it.
Well,
Like, if
people
it,
can
like,
in the
dragged
woods
it
without
with
doors.
Alright, bears do climb, that's why she was afraid it was gonna climb up in the loft,
Yeah.
right?
On the support
So,
beams.
let's get back to this, he loaded up the barrow, they had sold the horse cart for seeds last year. Have you guys ever heard of a wheelbarrow?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's like a
It's something
kind
that
of a
holds
container
like
that
anything.
holds things like
Kind of like
leaves
cargo
and sticks
and pirate ships.
or what? Yeah.
With one wheel.
With one wheel, right, and a wheelbarrow.
Yeah, you hold it with handles and it's got one wheel in the front.
Oh, yeah, you can use it for plantings.
Yes, okay.
Here's a
Yeah,
wheelbarrow.
see? It has a handle there and it only has one wheel in the front, so somebody holds on to the handles,
For me, it's
So,
two handles.
they had sold the horse cart for seeds last year. It's only 10 miles to Cutler's where the coach stops. The little ones can ride when they get too tired. He put in their mother's old skin trunk, which had carried her meager trousseau to the mountain and most of the food she managed to preserve before she gave up trying, blah, blah, blah. Between them, he and Liddy wrestled the old sow to the ground and tied her squealing to the shaft of the barrel. So how is Charles, Rachel, Agnes, Mother, and whatever clothing they have, how are they getting into town?
wheelbarrow.
Yeah,
In a
they
wheelbarrow.
put all their
He
stuff.
loaded up the barrel. They had
That's it.
sold the horse cart for seeds last year. So you got all these things going in
For seed.
one of these seeds, planting seeds?
Yep, they had sold their cart to get,
Just seed.
yep.
Seeds, plantings, like
Yeah.
corn seeds
Well,
or
'cause then
whatever.
they can use those, they grow the
Hoping they
corn
could get
seeds,
the, yeah,
they
right.
can use the corn as food, or they
Why
can
would
use the
they
corn to sell.
that?
What else do they
They
have,
have nothing else to sell.
right? So,
Cut down a tree, build
that
another
kind
table.
of
sell
tells you how poor they are. And 10 miles.
They're gonna walk 10 miles.
They're walking
There's
10 miles.
sometimes stuff in there, sometimes stuff and children, like little, they said the two little ones are very little.
They
They're
can
gonna
ride
go, yeah.
when they get tired.
That doesn't look like a whole lot of room for all kinds of stuff and two small kids
How about that?
to go 10 miles.
Saw that walking down the street.
Huh?
Well, filming, I saw that walking down the street.
Yeah, plus all of the stuff the
That'd
mom.
be so weird.
Just imagine all
Nowadays-
this stuff and then two
Nowadays, it
kids
would be
like
so
on
weird,
top.
back in the 1800s. Brendan, pick your head up.
It's like the equivalent of watching someone like push a shopping
A
cart
shopping
down
cart,
the
yeah,
street.
you're right, you're right,
You know, like if
absolutely,
you
that's a
see
good
people who
analogy.
don't
I've never seen that before.
People who don't have a car, I see it frequently. I ran around one that somebody had left this morning at the intersection of, I think it's Reynolds Road and 201. Someone had left a overturned shopping cart from Burlington Coat Factory that they probably used to move stuff
Right?
to get to the bus and then left
No,
it.
they didn't steal whatever's in the
No,
car.
but if you don't have a car
They
to
use
move
it as
it,
a
yeah.
as a form of transport.
Yeah,
I
but
saw someone riding in there.
Well, no, they probably stole the cart.
Yeah, but that's like that's what I picture in my head of that being the equivalent of trying to move all your belongings in a shopping cart.
I saw someone riding in a kid's little buggy thing.
Yeah.
Toys R Us in the store.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
And one more thing I wanna go over before I get to the next question, cause this may be the next question. Point of view. There are a couple different types of point of view. There is the first person point of view where the character is telling their story, okay? There is a third person point of view where the narrator, whoever is telling the story, is standing kind of back and watching the story happen.
They're a godly being. Just looking
Alright.
down.
So third person point of view. So first person point of view is the person telling the story is actively involved in the action. Third person point of view is the person telling the story is standing back and watching the story unfold before their eyes. Alright? So far so good? What's the difference between first person and third person, Katrina?
First person is like talking about someone else.
First person,
Or yourself.
right.
Yes, you're telling.
Third person is talking about someone else.
Talking about
Yeah.
someone else. Very good. So there's two types of third person. There is somebody who stands back and watches the story unfold and only tells one side of the story. So it would be like me narrating what goes on in this class and only focusing on Haley Heeman's perspective of the class.
Oh,
I'm only focusing, I'm limited, it's called third person limited. I am limited to only understanding what is going through Haley Heeman's head. I am limited to only understanding what I see Haley Heeman do, her behaviors, her actions, her what she says and what she thinks. And then there is third person omniscient. Everyone.
Yeah.
I am standing back and watching this entire story unfold, and I get to know what's inside Katrina's head, Brendan's head, Comey's head, Dakota's head. And that is considered third person omniscient. So how many points of view are there that I just explained? Colby?
3.
Which are?
First person, second person,
No,
third person,
third person.
and that one you just said I forgot.
How many third person point of views are there? No, no? All right, pay attention because I am not moving on until I understand that you understand. There are 3 types of point of view altogether. One is first person. First person point of view means whoever is telling the story is actively participating in that story. Third person limited is an outside narrator. Whoever is telling the story is limited to one person's side of that story. And then there is third person omniscient. It's an outside narrator, but they are not limited to one person. They get every single person's point of view, perspective. Brendan, how many points of view are there? Which are?
First person, third person, omniscient, and then third person, starts with something.
No. It's third person where if I'm the outside. Yeah, so I am limited only to one person's perspective. Limited. It's third person limited. Open up your books.
Are we not continuing the
We are continuing the hoop kahoot. I just want to be very clear before I continue. So the bear had been there undoing. Who's the there in that sentence? Haley Wing? It says the bear had been there undoing. Who's there are they talking
The
about?
families?
The family. So how many people are in this family?
5.
So right off of the top of our head, which point of view is the story being told from?
Third person omniscient.
Why do you say omniscient?
Because it's focusing on everyone and not just like Lydia or someone like
What's the key word?
there.
There.
Good job.
Perfect.
Nice.
Right. Open up Deanna, will you open up that My Brother Sam is Dead? Open up to the very first. Your point of view will be told right off of the bat. Open up to the very first part of the storyline. Will you read the first sentence to me? Yeah, the very first sentence of that book.
It was April and outside in the dark, the rain whipped against the windows of our cabin, making a sound like muffled drums.
Of our cabin? So is the narrator part of that action, or is it someone looking out and seeing that story? Is it an outside narrator saying, oh, I'm gonna tell you the story of what's happening there, or is it somebody involved right in that action? Okay, So what's the next sentence?
We were concentrating on our dinner and everybody jumped when the door slammed open and banged against the wall.
Who's we?
The people at the table
And they were what? What were they doing?
eating.
Eating. So are they directly involved in the action?
Yeah.
So what point of view is that story being told from? Is it an outside narrator saying, oh, there were a whole bunch of people eating? Or is it the person involved saying, I was sitting at the dinner table and next thing you know?
The ones that were
Okay, so what point of view is it?
the one that was saying that there was eating.
Right, but which, when I said there's 3 points of view, which point of view is it? Third person, so it's an outside narrator looking into this house? Or is it somebody in the house participating right in the action? Is it someone looking in, saying they were eating? It's somebody saying we were eating, right? Meaning who? If I said we, who would I mean? Me and you, right? So I was eating and you were eating, right? So I means it's what point of view? First person. Good job. Very good. Well, ooh, you open your book. What's the first? Give us the first sentence.
Aliens are stupid.
Ah, you can tell right there. Is it someone outside? Is it an outside narrator? Or okay, read the next sentence.
Not talking about real aliens.
Who? What's it say?
I
I am not talking
yeah,
about.
it's not first person.
It's first person. What's your key word? I. Right. Very good.
Aliens
You got a
are
book
stupid.
back there, Ty? You want to do it?
Stupid.
No, Liddy, we already did. You goofball.
Oh God.
I wish I would have brought one of
Who
my
wants to
books.
do it?
Me. I'll do it.
Okay.
I wish I would have brought my book.
Going was easy. Going, the plastic container only held air. Tall, for her 11 years. Naya could switch the handle from one hand to the other.
It said her, so someone else is talking about her, which would be third person.
Yep, now which one, limited or omniscient? Are we only focusing on one character or? Very good. Solva sat cross-legged on the bed. She kept his head turned toward the front.
It said so it's third person limited.
Third person limited, very good. But now, when you combine these two stories, what point of view is it?
Third person
But
Very good. Very good, guys. All right, you want to continue, Kahoot?
yes,
Yes.
please.
Sorry, point of view is so
What
boring.
if you were to write a
hours.
story where
I
the
got
point of
kicked
view
out.
changed every chapter?
You could.
That's
You
kinda
could,
cool.
for sure. It would be an omniscient third person, but each chapter would be a third person limited, and then you'd have to combine. You'd have to make
Or
sure.
what if I were to do different characters and each character had a different perspective? So one of them had their own perspective and then someone else was in first person perspective and then there were like 3 people with a first person.
I wonder what it would be like if Naya and Salva like switched.
Ah! You don't get this.
Oh, this is.
Oh.
This is. I didn't have to look at it. I remember my
Yeah. But now you know why. Instead of just what?
Is there such thing as third person objective?
Shoot. Homie.
There's
Third
no such
person
thing.
objective.
It's just the thing that they put in there, it's just to fill in space.
Yep.
Okay. Yay! Wait.
Oh my God.
What happened? We just said
It
this!
took like 5 minutes.
What?
I meant the diamond.
Okay, so here's a lesson in
I
don't
picked
be
a diamond.
so quick to just pick a letter. Read through the whole thing. If you're not gonna listen to me to read it, read through the whole thing. Because this could be the difference on a graded test between having the right answer and picking a totally wrong answer. Read the whole thing.
Oh my god, I can't
The
believe
definition
that
of
happened.
Excuses are like belly buttons. Everybody has them. Don't make any more excuses.
Because nobody likes somebody with 4 belly buttons.
Oh god.
It was
Not to mention a million.
I don't know.
Not to mention a million.
it's either
I think it's orange. Oh, orange. I'm
yay.
scared.
Okay, I'm good now.
All right.
I'm in 3rd place now. Moving up in the world.
All right, so here's the way anxious is used in the book on a number of occasions. Here's the first one. The cries were swallowed up in anxious gasps of breath. Cries has what kind of connotation to it? What's the connotation to cries? Negative. Gasps of breath. What kind of connotation, Tyson Greer?
If you're gasping for breath, is that a good thing or a bad thing?
That's bad.
So
Yeah.
anxious, what kind of connotation would anxious have attached to it? No, positive
Is
or
it
negative?
positive or negative?
Oh, negative.
Negative.
Yeah.
Out of all of these, you can have happy is definitely not even a choice because it has the wrong connotation.
Even
You
depressed.
could
would probably
attach
be
crazy, scared, and depressed to anxious. Now, think of this. Anxious is just a form of anxiety. Do you know what to have anxiety? Do you know what that means?
I have it.
Go ahead, Katrina.
You want something really bad?
Well, if you have anxiety, Colby, what's it mean?
It means like you're really nervous or scared about something, or you're, yeah.
Okay,
Wait,
so
can I say
you're nervous or scared about something.
excessive and irrational worries?
I don't think
not always
irrational.
irrational.
I think
But
excessive would work,
excessive.
but
Irrational.
irrational,
Yeah.
no, because in the mind of somebody who's anxious,
Yeah.
it's not irrational to them.
Well, it would.
Right.
At this
If
point.
it,
Haley?
Kind of like mood swings, sort of.
Mood swings, very good. Dakota?
Like you're scared or nervous all the time and like one little thing will like.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So,
They say in here too, they use it to describe, it were only a black bear, Rachel's anxious little voice echoed her brother's. Which word would you substitute in there in that case? Which word from up there would make the most sense?
if we're only a black bear, Rachel's anxious little voice echoed her brother's, and then, weren't it, Liddy? Weren't it a bear?
How is she talking?
When it
Nervous.
says
What's
little,
happening?
when it says little, it's kind of, it refers to quiet. So when like you talk quiet or you go, like you're like nervous, you'd probably be like scared.
It's scared.
Yeah, so you can
Right.
substitute in Rachel's scared little voice. You wouldn't want to say Rachel's crazy little voice or her depressed little voice.
Right.
She's scared.
And all would fit, like depressed, crazy, but, I mean, I guess all would fit, but you guys have to kind of, if we're only a black bear, Rachel's anxious little voice echoed her brother's, and then, weren't it Liddy, weren't it a bear? She keeps asking for confirmation, for reaffirmation.
She's scared.
She's scared, right. Next.
Crazy little voice, that's funny.
What is the definition of charity? Charity. Payment for something, stealing from someone, help or gifts for people in need, or destruction of property.
kill the property.
That's definitely charitable.
Like destruction of property.
Yay.
It depends on who you're helping. It could be charitable. If you're like helping a construction crew and you're destroying property, that could be
Mama
charitable.
tells Liddy she and Charles will have to go to work. This is an example of which category does that fit into? Liddy and Charles are going to work. Yeah.
They're
It's illegal. They're 10 and they're 13.
Yeah.
It wasn't illegal
They
back
shouldn't
then.
be working. Yeah, now it
Oh
would
yeah,
be.
this one's easy.
What is the reason Mama's so strange? She lost it when her husband left. She had miscarried a baby and that
Oh, there's
messed
two
her up.
of these.
She can't afford to provide for her family, or she's
The best.
strange because
Okay.
she lives next to a Quaker
Yes.
family. Yeah.
They did mention
I
the
was at-
miscarriage.
They
so.
did mention the miscarriage,
Yeah.
but the text says,
That's what
truth be
she's-
told, Mama had gone somewhat queer in the head after their father had left. Liddy had to acknowledge that.
She only said that she wasn't gonna ride a horse again because she had the miscarriage.
Oh.
Yeah, she likes.
Yeah.
that was
Yep.
just gonna go
Why
crazy.
does the mama dislike the neighbors, the Stevenses? Why does she not like them? She thinks they're thieves. She thinks they're heathens and abolitionists. She thinks they're poor. She claims they were mean to her. Why does she not like them?
Abolitionists.
Yay! I win.
Second place.
First place.
Yeah.
I was
she
at
says
fourth
that,
place
like,
for
out
most of
loud.
this game, and now
Haley, nice job.
I'm the
All
best in
right,
the world.
so let's go. Let's carry on that last one. What is a heathen? All right, a heathen is someone who sins. A heathen is somebody who does not take religion very seriously. Based on your background knowledge of social studies, do Quakers take their religion seriously?
No. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, they do.
Very
Oh,
serious.
Quakers take it very seriously. So she thinks these Stevenses, because they're Quakers, she thinks they're heathens and abolitionists. And an abolitionist is somebody who does not support slavery. So Mrs. Worthen thinks they are sinners and
Doesn't understand why they would not support slavery.
yeah, she's like, why wouldn't you support slavery?
Oh,
Now, you
yeah.
guys don't know this yet, but this storyline takes place in Maine.
Greece, right?
Huh?
Greece. Maine, Greece.
Maine.
No.
Maine is in the United
I
States.
thought you said May. I'm
Greece
like,
lightning.
Oh, no.
Takes place in the month of May.
Maine.
The state of
Guys.
Maine, this is where they are now, a state that is up to the north of us.
Right.
That would make
Travel
sense
north.
if they don't
wasn't
support
it
slavery.
Massachusetts
So-
this time though?
Well, it doesn't make sense.
Not yet.
Well, they don't
She's
have
not in
the
Massachusetts
Atlantic
yet.
plantations.
She goes
They
there.
don't,
Which
right.
is why, if they were in the South, they would
This is
need
later.
slavery. Because
Yeah.
of the
If they were in the
Yeah.
South, would they be abolitionists?
Probably not.
Probably not. You're right, Caroline. So an abolitionist is somebody who doesn't support slavery based on the definition and the inhumanity of slavery. And for some reason, Mrs. Worthen up in the north thinks slavery is totally fine.
Even though she probably doesn't have slaves.
Even though, well, clearly they don't. And
They probably don't really know people who have slaves.
right. So at any rate, she thinks that their neighbors are not good people. And she doesn't want the kids to go over there. Open up your books to page 9. You can get your laptop, you can close your laptops. Open your book to page 9.
Oh man,
I don't know, this may be repetition, I don't know how far Mrs. Heslin and Mrs. Travis
We
talked.
got through the whole
Did
thing,
you talk about the letter?
Yeah.
a little bit, yeah.
Okay. So, dear Liddy, the world have not come to the end yet. What is she trying to say there?
Yeah.
Yet. And what about HAV?
Have,
Have, right. But we can still hop.
Hop.
Hope.
No, we
Right.
can still hop
Right,
too.
so if you were to take Mrs. Worthen literally, we can still hop. This lady's clearly crazy. But what she means there is we can still hope. She says, I have hired you out to M. Cutler at the tavern and for your brother to Baker's Mill.
Why
The
she-
pasture, what does she mean by pasture? Pasture, fields, and sugar bush is lent to M. Westcott to repay debts. What's wrong with the word debts?
What letter?
No B.
No B.
There should
And
be
then-
a B in there.
Slow, Caroline, please, I'm begging you.
I guess we can say
It says lent to M. Westcott to repay debts. Also cow and horse. That's her sentence. What's wrong with that?
Is that a sentence? Also cow and horse. Should we
Right.
talk like that?
Also, the cow and the horse.
Yeah, she should have
Right.
said, yeah.
Right.
Oh,
And then she says LV at once you get this.
level.
Leave
What
at
she
once
when
once
you
you
get
get
this.
this.
Leave at once when you get this. Your loving mother, Maddie and Worth. So, based on that letter, guys, what can we infer about Mrs. Worthing?
She's not very educated.
No.
She is not very educated at all. Right. Katrina?
She doesn't really care about her children.
Well, why do you say that? Yeah.
She never even said I miss you or anything like that.
Oh, well, she signed it, your loving mother.
What did she do?
What's
even
wrong with
more?
that signature? What's wrong with signing her letter that way?
She didn't say mom.
Yeah.
Okay,
It
but
shows that
Mom.
she still cares about, which kind of like makes like her Lydia, who got the letter.
Caroline.
Who got the letter?
It was to Liddy. The
So
letter was
that
to
would
Liddy.
make me kind of like confused, like because of the fact that if my mom gave me up to like work for or to go somewhere else, I would be kind of like I'd feel disowned. And so if she signs your loving mother, like why I'd feel like why do you love me if you how do you love me if you sent me away?
Right, exactly. That's where I was getting at. She signs it, your loving mother. There's a huge problem with that because you're not loving me by selling me. Right, by making me go work somewhere. And when Liddy and Charles go to work, what are they going to do with their paychecks?
Not to the mother.
Yeah.
Give it to their
It's gotta go
mother.
to Mom.
Right. Tyson?
My mom and that would never do that to me.
Never.
Yeah, they'd be arrested.
I would hope.
Yeah.
True. I would hope they would never do that out of love for you, and then also because of laws.
Just for money.
Right.
They can't.
They'd
If it
be
wasn't
arrested.
illegal, I'd probably
Right.
be sold by now.
It wouldn't matter, even if they wouldn't be arrested, they still wouldn't have done it.
Well, I mean, I hope not. I hope not.
But
Well,
during
we-
this time, she's
I
like
think
strapped.
my opinion is that I think that she just got a little lazy and she tried to
And she's
write a
lazy.
messed up note to her kids. And then at the ending, when she put your loving mother, and the messed up part to me is leave that once when you get this. I think that she just tried to butter them up by saying your loving mother.
Yeah, right.
she's
To
trying to
try
make
and
it
make them
better.
to make it seem like,
It's
oh,
not
by
so
the
bad.
way, I do love you. You know, right.
Like,
Butter them
three
up.
words
Yeah, sure,
doesn't
Mom.
mean anything.
I would've ran
Like
away.
as long as you have to show it.
Wait,
Well,
where
that's
did
the
they
thing,
leave
that's
the note?
fine.
At the bottom?
No,
Remember,
some
the
lady
person
delivered
brought
it.
They brought it on the horse. She
Right.
and gave it to.
That's so
It's like, I'm selling you technically into slavery. Oh, by the way, I still love you.
By the way, I love you. Yeah.
like those
Oh,
other-
I'm telling you, it's not slavery because Liddy and Charles will get paid for the work they do, so it's not slavery. But it is like I'm selling you into work, and by the way, send me your paychecks, and oh yeah, love you.
Well, that's why I said kind of.
Right.
Thanks, Mom.
All right, guys. No homework. Have a great weekend.